So who are the new rookies for the 2022 World Championship Tour? Well, we're going to dive in and meet the men and women that made the cut. Hey everybody, I'm Old Surf Dad. I've been surfing 40 years, but it's all come down to me being a kook riding a mid-length. If that's not reason alone to like and subscribe this video, I don't know what is. Anyway, as you know, there will be timestamps down below in the description if you want to roll ahead at any time. So before we talk about the new surfers of 2022, let's look at some of the veterans that won't be on tour. In the women's, those veterans that won't be returning to the tour next year are Keely Andrew, Macy Callanan, and Sage Erickson. So for the men's, check out this long list of those who retired or didn't requalify. And it includes Julian Wilson, Jeremy Flores, Michelle Perez, Ace Buchan, Wade Carmichael, Alex Ribeiro, Peterson Crisanto, Kaioi Bailey, Jack Freestone, and Mikey Wright. So who replaced them? Well, let's take a look. It's hard to call Ultimate Surfer winner Zeke Lau a rookie when he surfed on the World Tour in 2019. He had a win in Portugal, got 9th at the US Open in Huntington, and got a 5th at Haleiwa. Zeke does it all. He has air game, plenty of experience, and he can surf just about any wave with power. And let's not forget, he's ultra competitive. You probably remember Australian Liam O'Brien when he made the semis last year in the WCT event at Rottnest. Now he's qualified for the championship tour with a 5th place at the US Open in Huntington and a 7th in Haleiwa. Liam's surfing is smooth and stylish and features some beautiful turns, certainly manufactured and refined in Australia's point breaks. Oh yeah, and did I mention he has air game and knows how to ride in the cylinder. Aussie Connor O'Leary mostly had 17th place finishes in his rookie season last year on the WCT Tour. Now requalified, he had a Challenger Series win in France and respectable 9th place in Haleiwa. Connor has to me a great balance of power turns and aerial wizardry not often seen. And now another year of experience. Okay, here's the truth. I'd never heard of 23-year-old Jake Marshall before the Challenger Series, but he made a great first impression with a 2nd place at the US Open in Huntington. Hailing from San Diego, I was told Jake was a small wave surfer, and then I watched him in Haleiwa where he held his own. Look, Jake's surfing is on point, his air maneuvers and searing turns are a highlight. Calum Robson's another surfer I'd never heard of before the Challenger Series, and even now I'm having trouble finding any information. But remember, everyone who qualified on this list had consistent results, and that's what matters. He's one of several new Aussies on tour that have strong off the tops, but Calum is especially good on his backside attack. 21-year-old Samuel Pupo will be joining his brother Miguel on the CT Tour this year. Samuel may not have developed the big wave prowess of his brother just yet, but his range of maneuvers and airs are impressive. The Pupos grew up on the north coast of Sao Paulo and were neighbors with the Medinas. Samuel had a 73rd in Huntington, but came back from the dead with good results in the rest of the CS. If CT judges keep throwing big scores at airs, Samuel will do well. 30-year-old Santa Cruz local Nat Young started his WCT career back in 2013. His surfing is solid and gritty, like a guy that grew up in cold water. Backside power hacks are a strength. What he lacks in air game, he makes up for with competitive savvy. I think he's either going to surprise us all or fall off the tour by mid-season cut. Imaikalani Devault is a 24-year-old Hawaiian surfer from Maui. He's comfortable in big pipe and surfed in the Pipe Masters in 2019, scoring a 9.57 against eventual finalist Gabriela Medina. Last year, he was invited to the Stab High event in Costa Rica for his explosive airs. To me, he's probably the most talented surfer in all conditions, and he's my favorite rookie of the bunch. Lucca Mesinas is the first male Peruvian surfer on the World Tour. Of course, the first Peruvian surfer would have been former world champion Sofia Milanovic. Lucca represented Peru in the 2021 Olympics and lost in the quarterfinals to the eventual bronze medalist Owen Wright. The regular footer comes from the land of lefts and has well-developed backside skills. While he doesn't have a lot of World Surf League experience, he he does have a silver and gold medal from the ISA Games to prove that he can compete. I'll just say it's great to see Peru represented again on the World Championship Tour. Joao Chianca is another tornado from the Brazilian Storm. You've probably heard of his older brother, Nazaré Charger Lucas Chianca, but his little brother Joao seriously rips in any surf and has solid air game. Is it just me, or every clip that I see of this guy seems speeded up? Or maybe that's just the way he surfs, super fast. I think he's going to do really well in Hawaii and on the tour in general. Look, I think Jacko Baker was as surprised that he made the WCT as we were. He left the door open with a poor showing in Haleiwa, and other surfers had the opportunity to make the WCT. Fortunately for him, no one stepped up, and he's got a spot on the World Championship Tour. Jacko is fundamentally sound and has some Aussie surf tools in his bag from his Merriweather upbringing. Now, I'm not sure he's going to make the cut, but let's see if he surprises us and maybe himself all over again. How stoked are we to see Carlos Munoz represent Costa Rica on the World Championship Tour? He's probably more famous for his hair and his last-minute invite to the Olympics that sadly he did not make due to travel restrictions. Carlos is an exciting, well-rounded surfer with a Mason Ho type of enthusiasm that will keep us all stoked. Carlos's ability to punt big airs got him an invite to last year's Stab High event. I hope he does well. I'm not saying he's going to make the mid-season cut. I'm just saying I hope he does. So those are the men's qualifiers for the 2022 season. Do you agree with my predictions, or did I get it wrong? Did I diss your favorite surfer? Well, send me your hate mail in the comments below and let me know who you think makes the cut. All right, we carry on with the women's qualifiers. In order of how they finished on the Challenger Series, we start with 17-year-old Gabriela Bryan from Kauai. Now check this out. She was runner-up in 3 of the 4 Challenger Series events, including Portugal, Huntington, and most recently Haleiwa, where she actually beat Carissa Moore. I've heard that she's training with pipe enforcer and overall fitness badass Kahea Hart and MMA surfer champion Dustin Barca. I love her turns, she's got a ton of power, and judging by her results, she's a competitive beast. Representing Costa Rica in the Olympics last year, 22-year-old Brisa Hennessy's first full year on tour in 2021 got her a string of 9th place finishes. She ended the year ranked 15th and missed the cut, but requalified with a consistent performance on the Challenger Series and a big win in France. She has nice turns and more experience than any other rookie in the class of 2022. Betty Lou Sakura Johnson has a lot going for her. She lives on the North Shore in Eddie Aikau's house, and she's coached by Ross Williams. On the Challenger Series, the 16-year-old made the quarters at the US Open in Huntington, also made the quarters in Portugal, and won the event at Haleiwa, beating Carissa Moore. Last year, at the age of 15, she got a 9th place at the WCT event at Pipeline. She can surf big waves and small, and shows an incredible amount of wave knowledge at such a young age. Qualifying through the Challenger Series at number 4 would have been Caity Simmera, but she turned down her spot in the WCT like Taj did years before to go out and get more experience. I totally respect this decision, and it's opened up a spot for Molly Picklum, who we'll talk about in a moment. Before the CS, India Robinson from Australia had a series of head injuries, but she recovered enough to get a 2nd place to Brisa Hennessy in France and make the finals at Haleiwa. Her backside attack is solid, and her low center of gravity throws a lot of spray. 17-year-old Luana Silva grew up on the North Shore and started surfing at a young age with her Brazilian dad. She's a regular at V-Land and has even been spotted giving Waimea Bay a go. She won the Portugal Challenger Series event, which helped her qualify, and she also did well in Haleiwa. Now imagine this, they took the local girl on a Billabong trip to Iceland, where they made a Chris Burkhardt film, and it's beautiful. I like her smooth fundamental style, her crisp turns, and she's got plenty of power to go with it all. 18-year-old Molly Picklum from the central coast of New South Wales is meant to be Australia's next big star. She has back-to-back Australian titles and won the Pro Juniors in 2019. In the Challenger Series, she missed the cut by the narrowest of margins, a 1-point deficit in her final heat in Haleiwa. With Caity Simmera passing on her WCT Tour spot, now Molly Picklum has a chance to prove herself on the championship tour. Again, tell me in the comments below which women you think will make the mid-season cut. So mostly out of curiosity, I put together these pie charts to see how the influx of new qualifiers affected the WCT. And looking at the trends, one of the first things I noticed was that the once Brazilian dominance in the men's WCT has now shifted, and the Australians are dead even. You'll see at 26%, followed by the US and Hawaii in second and third. The other thing I see is if I get my head out of the way, you can see that there are more Australians on tour than anyone else. The other trend I notice is the surge in Hawaiian surfers, and I think the new WCT schedule is going to do nothing but help them. Finally, I love that the other category in the men's WCT, which includes Japan, Portugal, Italy, Costa Rica, and Peru, is made up of a lot of different countries, and I think that's a trend you'll see growing, especially with the way that the WCT has restructured their qualification format. If you want more information on how the new WCT format works, there's a link in the description to a video I made all about it. Anyway, I could see that expanding over time, and I think it's a good thing to have a lot of different countries competing for a championship. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. So if you got something out of this video, please mix in a like or a subscribe. I really appreciate it. Also in the description below are more videos on the 2022 WSL season. Hey, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.